Hello. Okay, let's get to the nitty gritty. This is my first video. I'm getting used to this whole YouTubing, uh, you know, whatever you want to call it, vlogging. I don't know. I have no experience in it at all. I just know I have a message. I just know I have something amazing that I need to do, and so we're doing it. Um, in my very first video, which was the introduction to all of this, I talked about how we would be going about everything, what this all means, this journey that we're on, about healing, because we start the new year off, some with resolutions, some of us choose not to. But one thing I don't usually hear us do is tackling, our mental health, our well being. Like, we don't start the year off thinking, this year I'm going to be in a better place mentally. It's one of the hardest things we'll ever do in this life. So, the first thing I'd like to talk about um, is hurt and pain. Uh, they can be one and the same, hurt and pain, hurt or pain. Either way, you know, however you get it, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical pain, it hurts. It hurts. And sometimes there are things that can be done to you that doesn't physically hurt, um, but it hurts you mentally. It hurts you emotionally. And as a child, and I will use terms like that, like as a child, even though we're adults, I would assume, that most of us are adults. Um, I would use terms like a child or our parents. Parents just talking about who raised you. They don't necessarily have to be your biological parents, but somebody raised us. Even if it's a system, somebody raised us. So, anyway, hurt happens to all of us. I've never met a soul that hasn't been hurt. So, we have to tackle that because a lot of the issues that we face today is because of hurt. It's because of what somebody's done to us or around us, okay, as kids. And why I'm addressing the child in us is because, for some of us, there's still that child. There's still that little girl in you, that little boy in you that is crying out for help, that needs to be acknowledged, that needs um, comfort, that needs their hand held, you know, that needs somebody to free them. So, speaking of the subject, hurt, again, it's something we need to acknowledge because if you don't acknowledge that you've been hurt, you're not going to be able to deal with the hurt. And I'm sure you've heard it so many times. And yes, a lot has happened in our adulthood, but that's not what we're really talking about right now. We're talking about you as a child because it does affect you later on. Okay? Some of us may feel afraid to revisit the past. Some of us may think, oh, it's just the past. It doesn't affect me. It's over now. Oh, but is it? Is it really, though? Think about it. Is it really over? And as we go on this journey together, you're going to realize how your past isn't really over. It's in the past, but it's happening still to you. Um, I've heard a lot of adults say, well, you know, um, that doesn't affect me like it used to. I've gotten over it. Now, I'm not trying to get you to dig up some old bones, okay? That's not what we're doing here. We're not trying to just like go into the past for for no reason. There is a purpose for us doing this because people get a little touchy. I get it. You might get in your feelings and think, I don't want to dig up old bones, I don't want to go back there. But if you allow yourself, if you help me, okay, as we help each other on this journey, to allow ourselves to go back there, that's where freedom is. It's not going into the past to stew over it, to sit there. It's going back into the past to acknowledge what happened, to give you some clarity to what's happening, and to help you to move forward into your future. Okay? So, hurt happens in many forms. Okay? Some of us have been sexually abused as a child, and a lot of us have been. Some of us been physically abused as a child, whether you've been beaten, okay, whether you've been hospitalized because of it, maybe you've been starved. Um, so many things can happen that falls under physical abuse, just your body just being taken advantage of, not in a sexual way. That's sexual abuse, yes, but it's in so many ways you can be physically abused. If someone leaves you outside in the rain or in the cold as a form of punishment, that's being physically abusive. Um, there's mental abuse. You know, we might think it's the norm, but it is not okay for your parents to say, oh, you won't get anywhere, or you'll never be anything, or, you're not pretty enough, or maybe if you just, walked a little better, or if your teeth weren't messed up, or, if your hair was longer, this would happen for you. There's a lot that can be said to a child. Oh, you're fat, or you're just skin and bones, or you never know. People say things to kids that messes them up mentally. It affects you mentally. So mental abuse is just as serious as physical abuse, as sexual abuse. It messes with your identity. Okay, when you're always being told, oh, you're stupid, you're good for nothing, that messes with your identity. Like, who am I really? Am I really stupid? Then you start acting stupid. I know it sounds crazy, but I think somebody knows what I'm talking about. When you're being told something so much that you start becoming that thing, you almost start believing it. Um, so mental and emotional abuse, playing on your feelings, you know, parents might separate and they start using the kids as pawns in their little games and, mess with your little emotions. And so all these things cause hurt. It causes hurt. And we always want to find a reason. Well, my mama was going through a hard time, or my grandma, she had it real rough, or, you know, my daddy didn't really mean it. He had lost his job and he was under a lot of stress. Hey, that's not what we're here for. Here, this is a safe place. We're not going to give anyone another excuse for what they did. No more excuses. That's something we're not going to have during this time. No more excuses. It's about us. It's about looking inside and say, okay, own your feelings. Own what you went through. Say, yeah, I was hurt. This is how I felt about that. When my mama told me I'm good for nothing, when my daddy told me I'm worthless, when my uncle touched me, when my mama touched me inappropriately, is it these things you want to say to yourself, yes, it happened to me. You know, the extension cord that mama whooped me with, that caused me to bleed. You know, when she pushed me on the floor and I fractured my leg, whatever it is that happened, acknowledge that that happened. That little girl inside of you, that little boy inside of you is hurting, is crying, he's in a corner, scared, tormented, longing to be loved and accepted and cared for, but is in the corner, just shaking, tormented, okay, about what is going on. Acknowledge that one. Let them know it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to cry. Yeah, what is done to you is wrong. It's bad. It hurts. I know. That's acknowledgement. That's acknowledgement. Not giving the abuser an excuse. Okay? No more get out of jail free card. No more hall passes. We're not going to promote hate, but we will promote acknowledgement of what we've gone through. That's the first step to all of this. You've been hurt. The fact that you've made it this far in this video, the fact that we're doing this now and you're interested is because you identify with what I'm saying. That there were some things that happened. There were some words that was said. Some things happened to you that hurt you. You know, and it's time to address those things. It doesn't matter if it happened in 1972. It doesn't matter if it happened in 1955. What matters is that you're taking the bull by its horn and you're going to ride this sucker, okay? We're going to do this, and you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. And if there's something in specific that you guys want to talk about, post it in the comments and I will respond to it in the next video. And we're going to get through this. Even if it's just one little topic at a time. I know talking about hurt and pain is just, let me see. It's just so general, right? It's so general. There's so much that can fall under that category. Hurt and pain is just the umbrella. You know, there's a lot that I just mentioned. Yeah, we can have a whole session about being hurt sexually as a child and what that means, physically, mentally, emotionally, all these things that happen to us. We got to acknowledge them. And why I'm doing this, I've experienced every single one. And I'm on the other side of it to tell you to come back and to get you and say, hey, come on, it's better on the other side. We can get through this. Put that little girl at peace. Give that little boy some peace. You know, tell him it's okay. It's okay to live. It's okay to come out from the corner. You don't have to hide anymore. I'm going to free you. I know it sounds silly to say, but if you go along with me on this journey, you'll understand what I'm saying. Because we need to accept that younger person. A lot of times we don't even identify with that person. And obviously I'm talking about our younger selves as though that younger self is another person, okay? Yes, it's us, but a lot of times we really don't acknowledge that. We look at it as, well, you know, it's the past. You know, I've moved on. But the truth is, though this is you today, you cannot disconnect yourself from your old self. You can try. You can say, well, this is me now. That was then. But if you really be honest with yourself, you will know that you have a lot in common with your old self. That your old self has a lot to do with where you are now. Who I am today has everything to do with who I was yesterday. It has everything to do with who I was when I was 5 years old and 10 and 15 years old. It has a lot to do with who I am now. I've acknowledged that there are just levels. Okay? There's levels to this thing. Okay? So, next time, if I don't get a subject matter, uh, I will talk about something more in detail and what happens to children. And as I said, I will be talking about a child or children. And I'm not technically talking about children, I'm talking about us. You know, the little girl that you were and the little boy that you were. That's what I will be talking about. The child and what happens to the child. Because we want to give these kids a voice. Okay? We want to give you a voice. So find a photo of yourself, if you have one, of when you were a child, preferably prepubescent, and look at that picture and tell that little person that I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I will help you out of there. I will get you out of there. I will set you free. You won't have to be alone anymore. You won't have to suffer in silence anymore. You know, it's therapeutic. That's why we're doing it. So anyhow, I will end this video by saying that I pray, my God knows that I pray that whoever watches my videos, whoever is on this journey with me, that you will be healed, that you will be set free, that you will not have to be bound by all these things that happen to you, that your name will not be abused, that your name will not be victim, right? That your name will not be the wounded and the broken. I pray that this will not be your name, that you will be victorious, that you will be healed, that you will be completely, utterly, entirely, wholly free, that no one, nothing, or anywhere can be so attached to you that you're not able to live your best life. And I pray this for you. And I believe that together we can do it. Trust it. Trust the process, okay? Just trust it that that's going to happen. And hey, if he did it before, he'll do it again. He did it for me, and he can do it for you. So have a good night, a good morning, whatever time of day you're watching this video. But I thank you if you've tuned in this long. I thank you, and subscribe, like, feel free to share, and look forward to the next one. Set your notification bell on so when I do post another video, you'll be the first to know. Okay? All right.